Hello, it's Wednesday and we're back with another video. What are we doing today?
So recently the youth came out in mass, marching in the streets in mass.
Yes.
You would think maybe they'll be marching for unemployment.
Yeah.
You would think they'll be marching for bad service delivery or many of the issues that we face here in South Africa.
Yeah.
But it turns out they're marching for something else. But before we get into all of that, let's just check out this clip first.
Okay.
And then you tell me what you think.
All right.
So what are your thoughts on all of that?
I mean, a little bit of two sides. To be fair. One, I get that argument. The moment I saw the first person saying that as well, I was like, yep, you're right. You're right about that. You are absolutely right. Our priorities as youth are probably a little bit skewed, but hey, we've been kind of showing that for a long time. This is not even the first demonstration of that. So this just is possibly the nail in the coffin. People have this mentality like there's no point in me like just obsessing over things that I cannot change and things like that. Like I feel like our youth kind of has that attitude now, is that no matter what they do, no matter how invested, because they were literally invested in politics, particularly leading up to the elections. And I don't know how much youth actually, like so much of the youth actually got so demotivated and actually fell back into what they were before then, to be like, you know what, no matter how much we can come together and, mobilize and all of that to come and try and make a change, like usually it doesn't make a difference. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like, let's just invest our emotions on things that make us happy, on living our lives, moving on with our lives. And unfortunately, a lot of people follow Big Brother. A lot of people, watch Big Brother. And a lot of people happen to like Sweet Kuluva. And now they were like, yeah, we're out here, So, like, that's what I'm saying. I'm a little too excited about it.
The main issue is this, is that a lot of people saw this video and they were just like, why can't the youth do this, put in the same energy for things that actually matter and for things that are important in this country. And my main answer to that is they just don't care. They really they don't care about the issues that will affect them in future as well. So I'll just take myself an example. When I was studying, I didn't care about politics. I didn't care about a lot of things. And the reason why I didn't care is, one, my parents were shielding me from the effects of what politicians do. So, for example, during the Zuma years and early Cyril years, the VAT went up. I can see that the VAT went up. I can see that
it hasn't affected.
The prices have gone up. But because my parents have shielded me from the harsh realities of it, I don't feel it. I can see it, but I don't feel it. So the only time I actually started to feel these things was when I started working. That no, these people are taking my money, they're taxing me.
They're taxing me, but they're not doing anything.
They're not doing anything.
Look at the potholes we have. Look at the lights that are not working. Look at this.
So, as a young person, you don't feel all these problems unless they're severe. So unless there's something that's stopping the youth from doing something, then that's when they usually come out like these must fall.
That's what I'm saying. Like, let's not be unfair, because when it comes down to it, like the youth does come out for a cause. In fact, they're one of the people that you can actually trust will come out for a cause. Like
no.
Yes.
So people are complaining because the youth usually do not come out for a cause that matters. But again, I'm saying they don't do that because they don't feel affected by it or they don't care. So we need to get the youth to care about what happens in this country. There's two ways I can think of that we can make the youth care. First of all, we need to make the youth feel like you said, need to make the youth feel like they can they can change the situation.
Yeah.
They have a say.
They have a say.
Especially in politics. Which in actuality they do have a say.
Yeah.
So if we can train the youth that no, if you don't like how the country is being run, you have a say and you can actually change the outcome of the country, then more people will actually go out to vote.
But then they were also demotivated because they were frustrated like by the voting process as well.
Yeah.
In most of the spaces where they were voting, like things were just going wrong. So it's almost like,
yeah, that's part of it, but you should empower them. That's the thing. Right now the youth don't feel empowered at all to do anything. In a young person's head, it's like, oh, just let the old people do it.
But I think that's one of the big problems.
Yeah.
They had lack of faith in the older people, and they also understand. No, but also listen, they have lack of faith in the current older people in government right now, right? Lack of faith of them doing anything, and anything's gonna change. So it's like, now, okay, because I know nothing's gonna change, it's like, whatever. I feel like they need that somebody that is youthful, but also somebody that they can all like. You know what I'm saying? Just like how this person has been. You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously he's not a politician, but it's a good example as if people like you, you know what I'm saying, and they believe in you, they will support you. Like, you won't have to ask, just like how people are behind Zuma, for instance, because he's got that. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's got that. He's an example of politician. If there had to be like a younger example who actually gave a shit and who actually wanted things to change, like, they would be behind that person and support it. It's like, I wish energy like that needs to be channeled into the correct, sort of channel. Maybe it's because of the influencer culture as well, but it's always been like that. Like, people like following people. You know what I'm saying? Like, people just like following people, especially people like they like, but they also feel like they can relate to and things like that. You know what I'm saying? So a nice youthful person who feels strongly about politics and who's not like a transic and who's authentic, because people like authentic things, authentic people, they would be behind that person completely. But it's just that it's like, who do we channel all this energy to? Because we don't believe in anything that's out there. The EFF had this. The EFF had this with a lot of the youth, but slowly dwindling. Because why? People are losing the trust and the faith in them. So it's like, now again, the youth is left idle, back to where they were, and they're actually just looking for other things to focus, all of that energy in.
Yeah, you make a great point. There's not that many politicians that can get the youth out in numbers to vote for them. Yes, there's a poor quality of politicians right now.
Yeah.
But that shouldn't be a factor, though.
Yes.
In
absolutely
how docile the youth is right now. Like, things are going to shit, and people don't care.
We're watching it.
Yeah, they're just watching it happen.
Yeah.
So we really need to get the youth invested into this country if we really want to see a future for this country.
Then I think we need to also just lose the savior complex then, and the savior, the waiting for a savior basically situation. Then we need to understand, things are not right, let's do this.
So there are two ways that you can get the youth more invested into the country. So let me take one American way and then I'll take one Chinese way.
Okay.
Both of these ways work, but that's how they get their youth to be patriotic and invested in the country.
Yeah.
So in America, people are very patriotic.
They're
very patriotic because most of them go through the military.
Yeah.
At a certain age, they have to go. Go through the military, do a year or two of service, I think, and then you go out into society that way.
Yeah.
Now that helps in training a citizen to be patriotic for their country. So any young person turning 18 will go into the military.
Yeah.
Serve.
I can't not care for something I was fighting for.
Yeah. So you go into the military and then you'll be of service to your country. They will train you. They'll tell you everything that you need to know and feel about being patriotic to your country.
And in the process, you make disciplined people. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
So
so
there's
more
also
and
that.
more of your population will become disciplined because of that. And imagine, like, honestly, you know, you're channeling all of that energy into something good, and they'll come out responsible, dignified, you know, people. That's a way to make better societies, actually.
Yeah, so that's one way you can get the youth to be more invested into the country.
Absolutely.
Make it compulsory that after finishing matric, you spend a year of service in the military, being of service to your country. That's one way they can get invested. So when they come out of that year of service, they are invested in the country. Because they just spent a year being of service to the country. That's one way. So the other way now that the Chinese are doing, the Chinese also have a similar system where I think it's mandatory for like men to go into the military for a certain time.
Okay.
But the way that the government controls the media, the way that the government controls what kids see is very important.
Absolutely.
Kids will only replicate what they see. So this is remember that Youngins video we made at the time. I was like, this is all the youth sees. The youth is just consuming nonsense all the time. You're just consuming content that's about drugs, sex, and crime. You know, why is it that Showmax is one putting out these shows consistently with the very same themes and all that, and then two, why now are you sexualizing children? And then three, on top of that,
and it was always gonna go there.
Why don't you bring back shows like Soul City, Soul Buddies, Intersections? It's the same conversation we were having in the last video.
On sex and
why don't you educate like the youth instead of glamorizing what they're already doing? Why don't you do that?
Because now in these shows you're not even showing it being wrong. You're just saying this is lifestyle. You get what I mean?
And you show people enjoying that.
Enjoying. It looks nice. It makes people want to be a part of that.
So when a young impressionable teenager who hasn't even started this lifestyle sees this show and sees how nice it is, what do you think is going to happen?
Just selling our youth, man.
There's just drugs, sex, crime. That's all they're seeing. And then when you go,
life then. It will be
when you go online, all the youth is doing is drugs, sex, and crime. That's all that they're doing. You just see them at Groove. You just see them talking about who to smash or who to raise up. That's all you're seeing. But in China, they curate the content that their youth sees to make them think a certain way. So the TikTok that's in China and the TikTok that's being consumed by every other country in the West is completely different.
Same. Absolutely.
It's completely different. And that's how they channel their youth into being productive members of society.
Do you know the difference between the way China does it versus the way American does it?
No.
The difference between like TikTok in America is like dances and people doing pranks and people doing things to try to get viral views. In China, it highlights scientific achievements, athletic achievements. It highlights like people doing things, accomplishing things, where they're trying to elevate the quality of the lives of the kids that are addicted to this TikTok. So instead of them being addicted to like putting piss in the hand soap container, instead of doing something like that, like what they're doing is like showing science experiments. They're showing innovation. They're showing kids accomplishing great athletic goals, and it's motivating people to do good things and improve themselves.
So that's why I was very big mad. I was mad at that Youngin show. I was like, this is nonsense. Like all the time, you're just gonna be promoting drugs, sex, and crime all the time.
You legit boycotted that.
Yes, I never watched that show because it's nonsense. So I don't understand why the government, even now, the government doesn't have any patriotic campaigns. Like campaigns, just show an ad on TV, like what it means to be a South African. Let the youth get invested. Let the youth feel proud about being a South African.
From within.
Yeah, but only now the only time the youth feel proud of being a South African is when
somebody wins something.
Is when like outside, like internationally, we're getting praise for our piano. You know, we're getting praise for like our celebrities, like Trevor Noah or Black Coffee, you know, those kind of things. That's the only time they feel proud to be South African, because it's like, look, all our piano artists are being praised outside, so we're gonna do piano as well. There's no aspirations to be like anything other than an entertainer now for the youth. because again, you will go finish school, and then when you finish school, there's no jobs. We need a government that's hands-on, that has a direction for the country.
Yeah.
Like our culture right now is a very destructive culture.
Yeah.
We just drink all the time. We celebrate, we drink.
Yeah.
When you're bored, you drink.
I'm like, what can you do?
All that we do is that we drink. Any ceremony, even at a funeral when things are sad, we drink. We've just become alcoholics. And then on top of that, now the government's pushing gambling on kids now.
Yeah.
So now you're gonna make us addicted to gambling, and you're gonna make us addicted to alcohol. And drugs and sex. How are you gonna produce productive young people when you keep pushing bad content onto them?
And in as much as they feel like stuff is, maybe they don't care because it's not affecting their immediate family right now, but it's gonna affect them. It's gonna affect them at some point.
Yeah.
You can't shield your people from the real world forever. It's gonna affect them. And then maybe that's the only time that they'll actually start caring. Because they're like, no, we're fine, we behind our high walls, it's not affecting us. But then I guarantee you will start to feel it too.
It's just very disheartening just seeing these kind of things, because now they show that they have the ability to come out in numbers and stand for something, but because they don't care about anything right now, they only stand for something when it's like useless, and when it's time to come out to rally up for unemployment, nowhere to be seen.
Yeah.
You're gonna come out of varsity now and you won't find a job.
Yeah.
That's the only time when you're gonna care about this. But right now, when you're in school and your parents are shielding you from all the harsh realities of what's happening in the country, you don't care, because at the end of the day, if prices go up, that's my mom's money. It's not my money. I'm not feeling it like that.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. You guys let us know what you think about this whole situation.
Yeah, let us know.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
And keep watching. Goodbye.
We'll check you guys in the next one.